Okay, so welcome guys. This is a short video from section 1.1. I just want to show you a couple examples how to solve linear equations. So hopefully that will help with your study. So I'm not introducing definitions. You guys have them in a textbook. So section 1.1, linear equations. So first equation which I want to solve is linear equation with integer coefficients. So we have equation 3 plus 4x equal 3x plus 7. Okay, so to solve this linear equation, we want to have x's on the left side. So step number 1 will be, I want to move that 3x to the left side of the equation. Since you see positive 3x, always use the opposite when you move things around in the equation. So opposite of 3x is negative 3x. Which technically what we do, we're subtracting 3x from both sides of the equation. So now on the left side we have 3 plus 1x, because 4x minus 3x will give us x, equals 7. So now we want to isolate x on the left side of the equation. You see that positive 3, we want to move it to the right side. You see positive 3, so opposite of 3 will be negative 3. So we need to subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. So on the left side, that 3 will cancel. And we end up with x equal 4. So this is the solution. Next, in section 1.1, they also teach you how to solve a linear equation which have fractions. So I want to solve one example. So linear equations with fractions. And the book explains that very nicely. However, I want to do one extra example. So 1/3 times 1 minus x equal, not equal, excuse me, minus x plus 1 divided by 2 equal negative 2. So I recommended, it's always better to put more parentheses than not having them. So I'm going to put parentheses here. So to solve an equation like that, step number 1, first what you want to do, you want to find lowest common multiple of the numbers which you have in denominator. So in denominator you have 3 and 2. So we're going to find lowest common multiple of 3 and 2. So number which is multiple of 3 and number which is multiple of 2, in this case it's going to be 6. When you find that lowest common multiple, your second step will be multiply both sides of the equation by LCM. So in our case, by 6, because that's our LCM. So I'm multiplying left side of the equation by 6. So we have 6 times, this is my left side. So we have 1/3 1 minus x minus x plus 1 divided by 2 equal 6 times the right side of the equation, which is -2. And now I'm going to start distribution, apply distribution property. So 6 times the first expression. So here in first expression, you have multiplication. So we're going to multiply 6 by the first expression, and then we will multiply 6 by the second expression. So we have 6 times 1/3 times 1 minus x, and 6 times, and like you see, this expression is negative, so you may think about this one as being -1. So 6 times -1 will give you that -6, and I copy the rest, that fraction. X plus 1 divided by 2. And on the right side, we have -12. So now it's time to multiply. So number multiplied by fraction, you only multiply numerator. So we have 6 times 1, which is 6 over 3, 1 minus x. And here we have, if you guys want it, you can rewrite that, and I think that will be better, as 6 times 1/2 times x plus 1. Again, I'm not sure if you guys need so many steps, but you can always do it. You can always put 1 right here. Just to quickly review basic operation with fractions. So 6 divided by 3, that will give us 2 times 1 minus x. Now 6 times 1/2, so this is 6 times 1, which is 6, divided by 2, we're getting 3. So we have -3, x plus 1 equal -12. And like you see, this equation no longer has fraction, so just solve for x. So to solve for x, of course, we need to remove the parentheses. So now I'm going to multiply everything inside of the first parenthesis by 2. So 2 times 1, it's 2. 2 times -x, it's -2x. Then here I multiply everything by -3. So -3 times x, it's -3x. -3 times 1 will give you -3, equal -12. Here on the left side, I'm going to group like terms. So we have -2x minus 3x will give you -5x. Then +2 minus 3, that will give you -1, equal -12. Next step, we want to only get x on the left side. So we need to move that -1 to the right side. I'm going to do it by apply opposite of 1, which is +1. We're adding 1 to both sides. So we're getting -5x equal -11. Next step, to isolate x, we'll divide both sides by -5. And we end up with x equal 11 over 5. In proper fraction, you can leave that way. This is the solution. Of course, if you're not sure if you solve it correctly, you can go back and replace x with 11 over 5 into our original equation, and you will see that it works. Also, going back to this problem, I want to let you know, guys, that your first step, if you prefer that way, you could remove parentheses first and then multiply each by LCM, which is 6. I actually prefer to find LCM first and then multiply each by LCM. Okay, so that was the example of solving equations with fractions. I know that another objective in section 1.1 is solving linear equation with decimals. So to solve linear equation with decimals, technically decimals are fractions, so you're solving them the same way. So I'm going to explain that based on one example. you have x minus 2 plus 0.03 x minus 4 equal 0.02 times 10. So first what I'm going to do, I'm just going to simplify that right side because 0.02 times 10, you just have to move your decimal 1 unit to the right. So this is just 0.2. And I will copy the left side. So we have x minus 2 plus 0.03 times x minus 4. Okay, so we have decimals. You can convert those decimals into fraction if you want to, because 0.03, this is just 3 over 100, because we have two numbers after decimal. And 0.2 is just 2 over 10, because we only have one number after decimal. So 2, it's in the 10th place. So now, again, you follow the same rules like solving equations with fractions. So you have to find lowest common multiple of 0.03 and 0.2. And like you guys see, the lowest common multiple of 100 and 10 is 100. So in this case, equal 100. So that's the LCM. So to not have decimals, I'm going to multiply. So that's first thing. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 100 because this is my lowest common multiple. So we have 100 times the left side of the equation, which is x minus 2 plus 0.03 x minus 4 equal 100 times the right side of the equation, which is 0.2. And now we're going to distribute. So you take that 100, you multiply by the first parenthesis, and you take that 100 and you multiply by the second expression right here. So we have 100 times x minus 2 plus 100 times 0.03 times x minus 4. Since here you only have multiplication, so you treat that as a one term, equal 100 times 0.2, which means move your decimal 0.2 units to the right, so that will become 20. And now I will just distribute. 100 times x is 100x minus 200 plus, now here we have 100 times 0.03, so we'll move the decimal 2 units to the right. So we have plus 3 times x minus 4 equal 20. Now I'm going to distribute 3. So we have 100x minus 200 plus 3x minus 12 equal 20. And now it's time to group like terms. 100 plus 3x will give us 103x. And then we're going to group like terms. We have negative 200 minus 12. So that will give us negative 212 equal 20. So we need to solve equation for x. We have to remove that negative 212 by using the opposite. So we're going to add 212 to both sides. So we're having 103x equal 212 plus 20. So that will be 232. Okay, so we're having 232, and then we'll have to divide by 103. Okay, so let's divide both sides by 103. and we're getting x equal 232 divided by 103. There's no way that we can reduce this fraction, so that will be our final solution. Okay. So that was the example, how to solve the equations with fractions. And then I have one more example for you guys. Number 4. So this is solving equation that leads to linear equation. So solving equations that leads to linear equation. So linear equation, it's equation which looks ax plus b equals c. So your x or variable has to be raised to the exponent equal 1. So we should not have any variable raised to the power higher than 1. So example which I would like to solve it with you guys is this one. 12 divided by x squared plus x minus 2 minus x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 equal 1 minus x divided by x plus 2. So big equation here, we also have fractions. So of course we need to give a condition that everything what we have in denominator cannot be equal 0. So I have to give the condition, which is x minus 1 cannot be equal 0, which means x cannot be equal 1. And when you will solve the equation, if you'll end up with 1, that means it's a fake solution. Okay, so x cannot be equal 1. And also we're going to give the condition that x plus 2 cannot be equal 0, which means x cannot be equal negative 2. And of course, x squared plus x minus 2 cannot be equal 0. And I will talk about this one in a second. So yes, this is quadratic equation here. But first, since you guys see fraction, you want to think about finding lowest common multiple of x minus 1. And let's focus only about those here. And x plus 2. So to find the lowest common multiple, that will be the product of those two expressions. Just quickly want to explain. Let's say if you have number 2 and 3. And so this is just example. And you want to find lowest common multiple. So to find multiple, always, you can always multiply those numbers. So 2 times 3, when I multiply them, that will give me 6. And my lowest common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. So in this case, the lowest common multiple of x minus 1 and x plus 2, I have to find the product of those two expressions. So LCM of x minus 1 and x plus 2 is the product, x minus 1 times x plus 2. Okay, so this is our LCM. And I quickly want to show you guys that x minus 1 times x plus 2, this is actually this quadratic expression. So if I will multiply x minus 1 times x plus 2 using FOIL, so F stands for multiply first. So we have x times x, which is x squared. So just FOIL here. O stands multiply outside, so x times 2 will give you 2x. I stands multiply the expression is inside, so you have negative 1 times x, which will give us negative x. And L stands multiply last one, which is negative 1 and 2. Going to multiply that. So negative 1 times 2 will give us negative 2. And when we simplify, we're getting x squared plus x minus 2. So like you see, this product is x squared plus x minus 2. So what I'm going to do with the original equation, I will go back and I will rewrite this denominator as a product of x minus 1 times x plus 2. So let me put a star and just move all the way here. So now we have 12 divided by x squared plus x minus 2, which is the same as x minus 1 times x plus 2. Okay. Minus x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 equal 1 minus x over x plus 2. So now, since we still have fractions, we know what is LCM, so I'm going to multiply both sides by lowest common multiple, which is x minus 1 times x plus 2. So I'm multiplying the left side by x minus 1 times x plus 2. So left side of the equation, we're getting 12 over x minus 1 times x plus 2 minus x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 equal LCM, which is x minus 1 times x plus 2 times the right side of the equation, which is 1 minus x over x plus 2. Okay. So now we're going to distribute. So you treat that as a whole expression. We're going to distribute that way. So think about this as a number multiplied by fraction. You only multiply numerators. So we'll end up with x minus 1 times x plus 2 times 12 divided by x minus 1 times x plus 2 minus, and I have x minus 1 times x plus 2 times x plus 3 divided by x minus 1. So I only multiply numerators equal the same thing here. Think about this as a number multiplied by fraction, so you only multiply by numerator. So we have x minus 1 times x plus 2 times 1 minus x divided by x plus 2. And of course, I don't want you to distribute, okay? Because things will cancel. Here, x minus 1, and x plus 2 cancel. So we end up with 12 only. Here, x minus 1 cancel. So we have minus x plus 2 times x plus 3 equal. Here, x plus 2 and x plus 2 cancel. So we end up with x minus 1 times 1 minus x. Now we don't have fractions, so we're going to FOIL here and FOIL here. So we're getting 12 minus, here I'm going to put the solution of the first FOIL. So x times x, it's x squared. X times 3, it's 3x. 2 times x, it's 2x. 2 times 3, it's 6. Equal. And we FOIL the right side, so x times 1 is x times negative x squared. Now here, negative 1 times 1, it's negative 1. Negative 1 times negative x will give you positive x. So let's simplify the left side. Let me simplify the expressions in the parentheses. So we have x squared plus 5x plus 6 equal, here we're going to also group like terms. X plus x will give you 2x. So we're having 2x minus x squared minus 1. Now this minus right here has a meaning of negative 1. Okay, so you have negative 1 times the expression in the parenthesis. So each expression in that big bracket, you need to multiply by negative 1, which means change the sign to opposite. So negative 1 times x squared will give you negative x squared. Negative 1 times positive 5x will give you negative 5x. Negative 1 times 6 will become negative 6. Equal 2x minus x squared minus 1. So first of all, what you guys should notice that you have negative x squared and negative x squared on both sides of the equation. So that will just cancel. Okay. And we end up with 12 minus 6, which will give us 6 minus 5x equal 2x minus 1. So now finally we can solve it. We're going to bring x's to the left side of the equation. You see positive 2x, so use the opposite. So subtract 2x from both sides. We're having 6 minus 7x equal negative 1, because that negative belongs to 1. Next, we're going to move 6 to the right side of the equation. You see positive 6, so use the opposite, which is negative 6. That will cancel. We end up with negative 7x equal negative 7. In the last step, we're going to divide both sides by negative 7. And we end up with x equal 1, which is the solution. So definitely, yes, long problem. This one, we start with equation which looks like fractions. Then after finding lowest common multiple, also we end up with here, like you guys see, you see quadratic equation, which we'll talk about them soon. But after multiplying both sides of the equation by LCM, FOIL, our equation nicely simplified. And we were able to remove those fractions and end up with a nice equation like this, which we already know that it's definitely easier to solve it. So this is section 1.1. Again, I still want you to watch your interactive video, but if you need more explanations, I will be also presenting short videos just to give you the examples of the most important objectives of each sections. So thank you for watching and have a great day, guys.